Okay, hello everybody. I'm going to be spending a little time working on a game I've been working on called Frieza's Fury, a brainchild of my friend Dylan, who's going to be joining us here soon. It's basically a retro 8-bit style Dragon Ball Z themed fighting game. And we've made pretty good progress, but we have some minor problems with it. One problem is that we have not a weird bug. I just see the mistake I made. I accidentally swapped the control button references. So on one of the players, one controller or one set of keys moves the player, but the other controller controls the fighting mechanics, which is obviously a bug. So I need to fix that. Then we've implemented Kai Blast projectiles for one player. After we fix that bug, we need to basically copy and paste the code for the other player and adjust some variable references or button input references to make sure and variable references to make sure that we can do projectiles for the other character as well. Let's see, and then let's see, what are we going to do today? The explosion will probably have to wait. So I think we'll do things in this order. We want to also update the gauges to decrement the player Chi value when using the Chi Blast. All of that seems immensely doable. So let me remind myself where we're at here. So it's in the fight directory, and we're going to load fight. Let's run it. Okay, so let me remind myself where we're at here. That set of controls move that character. Alright, there's the Kai Blast for one character, but the other character doesn't do Kai Blast yet. One thing I'm particularly proud of is the way in which we got the randomization working to auto-generate the backgrounds. Very cool. Took up quite a bit of room in the list of possible tokens for the game. And we did fix a bug last time where the counter wasn't stopping at 0. It wasn't really a bug. We just didn't really get that far. So the counter now stops at 0. Nothing happens yet, but the counter does stop at 0. Although I think I might make it where it remains centered. Right now, you'll see when it gets to single digits, it gets off-centered. I can probably clean that up. Maybe not today. All right. Let's see. Oh, I need to pull up my... Give me 1 second here. I need to pull up my references here. Let's see. It's in all my Pico 8 documentation. I need the manual. And I need the cheat sheet. The nerdy guide. Let's see.
Hello.
I'm going to go on mute for a minute. Hey there.
Yep.
All right.
Good morning. Or
Good.
afternoon.
Good afternoon. All right. Oh, I need to share my screen in Discord if you're going to see what I'm doing here.
Yeah.
How are you?
I don't have my computer today. I'm good.
Good. let's see here. Screen, which screen? That screen. There we go.
Yes.
So I was just making a list of things we need to do, and I think if we do these three things today, that'll be plenty, and maybe not even the third one. We'll see. I want to first of all, you say it's an easy fix, and I haven't looked at it yet. I'm sure it is. Fix the bug with the controls being swapped. I think
Yeah.
that's an easy fix. And then I want to basically copy and paste everything we did for one player into the other player, so we can
Perfect.
have Kai Blast working in both directions. And then if we can get the gauges decrementing the Kai values appropriately, that's a lot for today. I think that's plenty for today. And then it'll be playable. Two people can play it, and pew pew pew.
Perfect.
Exactly.
Yeah, I've been I got on my version, I uploaded the most recent version of Fight, and I decided just to kind of make my own, like not a canon, I guess. It's not one that I want to like send over to you and like work from or anything or implement anything, so I could work on art. So I can work on the art. I filled in like every pixel space now, like all of my sprite areas, just playing around with different art
Okay.
styles. So I've got a bunch of ideas for later. Yeah, I've been just
Cool.
working on and music. I've been working with figuring out the music maker, and it's going pretty well. I got in my little version, I've got background music playing
Oh
and
wow.
little fighting music. So
Oh my
whenever
god.
they punch you high blast, it works, and the music plays in the background.
Wow.
It's
Yeah.
not great song.
Do you even need me anymore? You want to just blaze forward and?
Oh, absolutely. No. I am not a coder. Everything I've done is only because I've been watching you. And I watched like a lot of videos on Pico 8. I got pretty inspired. I figured if I bought the version for $15, might as well play with it a little bit. But yeah, this you have the real version. Mine is just I named mine Dylan's Fury. It's just my own little game. But yeah, I absolutely need you. I can't get any further on my own.
Right. So, let me see what we did here.
Tried desperately to figure out how to program in around, and that was like just my only focus. I was like, let's see if I can program around just for fun. Nope. I can't so far.
All right. So the thing that was weird, I remember what we were calling, player 0 and player 1 here is that it's actually the other.
Yeah.
Right.
Those ones work. We just need to change the attack ones.
Right. So these are all fine, is what you're saying.
Yeah,
So basically, player 0 is controller 1, and player 1 is controller 0.
Yeah, so line 328 should be button 4-1 on 328.
Well, it has to be. Wait a minute. Oh, wait.
Yeah, because their attacks were flip-flopped. Their
Yeah.
movements, we switched their movements at one point, but not the attacks. So
But why not 313 here?
Player 0 is 1 and player 1 is 0. Or yeah. So yeah, that should be a 1 instead of a 0 there.
Starting on line 313.
Oh wait, no, on 328 I think. Or I might have done my numbers wrong there whenever I did that. It should just be, yeah, that one should be the one right there. That should be a 1, I think. And that should be a 0.
Right.
Yeah, because if you go up to their movements, I think they're flip-flopped. Player 0 is aligned with 1, and player 1 is.
Do you think we should? You think we should just flip the ones that are backwards? Flip the movement ones?
No, because we did that so that they would be on. Because the players are switched, so player 0 is on the left side of the screen and player 1's on the right side.
Right.
So if we switch those, we would want them to flip which side of the screen on. But if you just flip those two, it worked with my controllers. Like I had Xbox controllers connected, and both able to fly around and punch each other. So
this should be a 1.
Yeah.
And this should be a 0.
Yep. And then there's 2 more to change like that, and then the button controls are fixed. Even though there's not, it is actually a little bit of a difference.
So the Kai blasts are also backward, right?
Correct. Yeah.
So this should be a 1.
And then there's not one for player 1 yet.
So there's only 3 lines to fix?
So far, yeah. And then when we build the Kai Blast for player 2, we need to make sure to make it a 0 and not a 1.
Right. No problem. But
Yeah.
I feel like I'm missing something here. Okay, so fight logic goes here. Okay, we just switch that. This is all fine, probably.
Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, no, that's right. Yeah, the punch. I was like, why is there player 0? Yeah, I think that was it. And then once you do the other Kai Blast, they'll need to be 5-0 instead of
Right.
5-1.
Okay, so let's test our fix here. So this is, I need to pull up my list of controls here. My cheat sheet. Okay, so we're using the arrow key, so that's player 1. Or what, doesn't really matter, actually, whatever. Again, I just want to make sure the right set of controls is now working with it. So it should be Z and X now. Should pair with this one that's moving. And they are.
Yay.
Okay, and then on the
I
other
didn't even
player...
notice until I plugged in the controller and I was like,
Yeah, that's okay. That's why we test things, right?
Yeah, I was like, what is happening?
So
yeah.
left shift, and tab should work with the other. Okay, so boom.
Yeah, could have go.
Wait, how come I'm not getting Kai Blast though? What's going on? Oh, left shift and A. Left shift and A. Yeah.
Boom. Nice.
Okay, so that's better. One thing done. I like these easy fixes.
Same. Boom.
Let's save our work right off the bat.
Yes.
Oop.
Whoa, caps lock.
Yeah. Yes. Okay.
Nice. Moving quick today.
Yeah, I don't have a ton of time, so I want to just do these things that we know we can do. Oh, I'm getting some weird noises.
Sorry, someone's calling me.
Oh, it's okay.
That might have been for me. I redid the well, I have a few different Kai Blast options now to show you at some point. I'm not worried about that today or anything, but at some point,
A few different
get the
weapons?
new Kai Blast art.
Oh, okay.
I shrunk them down and made them smaller, and it shoots 2 little Kai Blasts in each picture, so like
Oh, okay.
fly across the screen.
That's cute.
Yeah, it works really well. And I got it to like come out right where their hands are. It looks appropriately sized with the characters
nice.
and everything.
Nice.
Yeah. But I'll show you all that later.
So I'm trying to remember what I did with the punching here. So I had the I did these big if-then statements to detect the button presses, and then I went into the P0 punch loop and the P1 punch loop. So basically what I need to do, we've got the Kai Blast here, and then we have the Kai Blast loop. I think what I want to do is for parallelism, I want to do the same thing here, detect the button presses, and then start the loops in sequence.
Yeah.
So what I need to do is basically copy all this.
Yes. Down. And maybe put a comment so you can see this is player 0 Kai Blast and the one below is player 1. Yes. Then we just need to switch the 1s and 0s.
Yeah, all the way through the whole thing, right? Okay. So we need to do, so if basically 0 now, and now we're if keep P1 Kai Blast. Oop. Then had to go really. This is a tedious step. Just got to go line by line to make sure you don't make any mistakes. You know.
Yeah.
Okay. Player 1. This is player 1. Player 1. Player 1. Player 1. player 1, and now we have our update grid function, which is our very time-consuming mistake last time, leaving that out.
Right.
Okay, and if player 1 flip X is true, then boom, 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 boom.
Nice. So we got one more.
Right?
Nice. Yep. And then if you want to do the comment.
Oh, yeah, I will in a second.
Yeah.
Let me get this before I forget what I'm doing here. Let me copy.
Right.
So the Chi Blast. We basically take the Chi Blast loop now. Oh yeah. Oh, that's right. We had.
Then the impact
We had all of this stuff.
Yep.
P0 Chi Blast loop. So basically, we take all of this, the loop, and the impact function, and the wall collision function, and get all of that here under P1 Chi Blast loop.
Cool. Yeah, might as well take it all with the comments and everything.
Yeah, exactly. Just gotta. Okay, so P0 Chi Blast loop right here. So we're gonna paste it right here,
Nice.
and yep. And so for right here, everything's got to change.
Yep. Nice.
Keep an eye on while I'm doing it. Help me make sure.
Yep.
Keep me on the rails. Make sure I don't make any mistakes here.
So far, so good.
Okay. So far, so good.
Smooth cooking.
Well, and we've made this so modular that in theory, it should start getting easier and easier to add things.
Yeah.
Because we can repeat these basic patterns.
Exactly.
Okay, now the Chi Blast impact. So that's P1. P1. This one's got to change to player 0. Okay. And this one's got to change to player 1. This one's got to change to player 0. Then P1 Chi Blast impact equals true. Player 1. And player 1. Okay, so this has got to change to player 0. Player 0. Player 0. Sorry, I know it's tedious to say all this out loud every time. It just helps kind of keep me on the rails,
I'll do it. That's good for me, too.
Okay, then we're down here to player 1.
Yeah, I used to do that a lot when I was working in the Marine Corps on my formatting stuff, too. Just like saying it out loud helps you keep track so much better.
Player 1. Move that cursor. Player 1. This is player 1. Is that it?
I think, did we do the button?
Yeah. Oh, no, wait, did we? Yeah, we did.
Where was the button at? Oh, it must have just forgot.
Well, detect player Kai
Oh,
Blast right here.
yeah, there it is. Okay. Yeah,
So
I just forgot about it.
I'll improve the comments here in a minute. It should work.
Yeah, good run now.
Okay, so this one was.
I don't recall.
Uh-oh, something's not happening. Oh, it's generate. Wait a minute. Hold on. Go to my cheat sheet here. What's the problem? I think I see right off the bat. I always forget which buttons are which. I need to get a couple controllers so I can test this.
Yeah. Having the controllers made it so much more fun, so quickly. Even just one controller, so that we didn't both have to use a keyboard.
Okay, I'm not getting. It's not spawning the sprites now.
Yeah, you are getting shot though. It looks like. Oh, isn't there other stuff up above this for the draw the sprite, sprite, to draw the Kai Blast sprite? You only have a drawing for Kai
Draw
Blast 1.
P0 Kai Blast. Right, you're right.
Yeah, all that stuff still.
Yeah, that's right. Good call. It's just not drawing
Yeah,
the
so
sprite.
they're not creating a sprite yet.
Okay, so draw P0 Kai Blast. We need to duplicate this as well.
And in the function above too, in the initial, add in the draw P1 Kai Blast.
Yeah, this isn't. This here is in the initialization function. This is the one right here.
I thought there was a variable for it too, some sort of variable.
I think I already created variables for all the variables needed to do both. I created them in parallel.
Oh, you did. You did actually. Yeah, that's right.
P1 Kai Blast sprite. P1 Kai Blast X player 1 Kai Blast Y. Alright, that should do it. Except it's not. Why?
Oh, you have to assign which sprite?
Oh, I didn't draw it. I didn't actually.
Oh, at the bottom, yeah, the draw.
Yeah, it's just not drawing the sprite.
Yeah. Draw P1 Kai Blast.
Yeah. Boom. That's probably it.
Boom, there it is.
Awesome. And then with the other keys, it was what? I forget which buttons now. It was
Z, Shift Z or something? Or
A. Check it out.
A.
Woohoo!
Nice, now we just need to affect their Kai value.
Check that out.
Yeah, working perfectly.
It's working pretty well.
It is. I love the way they actually speed up as you get closer to it.
I do too. It's a kind of fun unintended consequence, you know?
Happy accident. Yeah, I really enjoy it.
All right, let's save our work again.
Yes. Save fight. And then we can get it to affect the Kai Blast, or the Kai value and the Kai gauge pretty easily, I think.
Okay, so we implemented Kai Blast for player 1, i.e. player 2.
Yes!
All right, now we just need to decrease the player Kai value. So when there's an impact, we just need to add a couple lines, probably. This should be really easy.
Not when there's an impact, just at all when one is shot.
Whenever it's shot. Oh, whenever it's shot.
Yeah, not during the impact stage.
Okay, right.
When it's originally shot, it should decrease. And then they should stop launching Kai Blast whenever your Kai gauge is gone. So when your Kai gauge gets to zero, no more can be shot. So
okay, so there's a few things here.
And
I'm glad we're saving our work here because the possibility. In fact, you want me to email you this version?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Through this whole thing. Yeah, I think it's the start of the Kai Blast when it's actually first making one.
All right, so this was detect player 0 Kai button press.
Nice.
And this was detect player 1 button press.
Yeah, it just goes right there, like right around the Kai Blast equals true spot somewhere.
Yeah.
Like if
So if
basically the same thing as when the health.
well, how much do you want it to go down by?
Let's just do like 2 or something. Yeah, just a small number for now, just to see it happening.
Right. So
Get
we
it
just need to
working.
make sure that we're keeping track, because if we change how much it goes down by, then we need to change the value that it's looking for to see if you're still in the positive.
Yeah, I think that if we put in like and Kai gauge equals 0,
Actually, I've got an idea actually, just to make this a
Kai
little. We're gonna
Kai
make a
gauge.
variable for it called chi increment or something.
Cool. Yeah. Oh, if P0 Kai equals 0.
Well,
And
no.
if P0 Kai equals
Yeah, we want
0.
to be a little more cautious than that, because we basically we want to make sure we don't end up in negative numbers unintentionally. So basically, I think what we want to do is have a variable called chi increment or something like that, and define that as 2, the amount of damage that a chi blast does, and then we can say if the um, player chi value is greater than or equal to the increment value, 2 in this case, then do the thing. But then we can change it just in one spot and never have to think about it again.
Okay.
And we might do the same thing with health. I might clean it up a little bit to do the same thing with the health.
Cool.
Health increment, chi increment. But let's find where should we put it here? Where's the chi value stuff? Right here.
Yeah, this section.
Chi blast spray, attack variables. Okay, so right here. Probably right here. I think it's going to be the same for both players. It's never ever going to change, right?
True, yeah. The same Kai blast.
So we
Yeah,
can just
same
call it chi
increment.
increment.
Yeah.
Chi increment equals 2.
2.
If that's what you want. Yeah.
Sure, yeah. Easy enough to change.
Okay. Oh no, we do need to have because we need to be able to check them separately.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So we do need player 0 chi increment and player 1 chi increment. Even though they're the same.
Yeah. That way it doesn't change
I mean,
both gauges at the
I mean,
same
I could be
time.
really pedantic and just make another variable called chi increment, and then player 0 chi increment equals that, and player 1 chi increment equals that. Oh, why not? Actually, I like that idea. Like so. That way we can literally just change it here. And this will be the
How much the Kai bar goes down when you shoot a Kai
chi
blast or
reduction
something
on
like that.
chi blast.
Yeah, there it is. Good wording.
I feel like such a programmer. Like I'm getting good at this.
Yes, you are.
I mean, maybe there's
Yeah,
there's probably a more elegant way to do everything, and that's fine. I'm just pleased. I'm tickled to death that it's working.
yeah, same. It's working. It's really fun. I'm excited to show you the different art that I've come up with.
Yeah. I mean,
I didn't go.
why don't we do that for make? I don't know if we'll do it today, but let's do that for next time. Let's make a day and just like change any art you want, because
Sure.
we'll just iterate on it.
Cool. Okay. Yeah.
And that's a fun, after doing some really heavy coding stuff, that'll be a fun lightweight thing to do. That's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and it changes up the aesthetic a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
Or I could also just take the version that you send me today and just add in a couple of my art ideas so that you don't have to mess with it and I don't have to like tell you. I can just
Mm-hmm.
take a picture of them real quick, draw them in, and then next time we play, you can see them all and then delete the ones that we can pick which ones we like. Because I have
Yeah.
different ideas. Pick the stuff we like and
Mm-hmm.
delete everything.
Okay, I gotta remind myself
Yeah,
my values here. Okay,
Yeah.
where's the gauge values? P0 chi. Okay, so it's out of 100. So right. Okay, so we just need to basically say, we're just talking it through. If the player 0 chi increment is greater than, or if the plays P0 chi is greater than or equal to the pi P0 chi increment, then, and all these other conditions we already have here, and the button is pressed, right?
Yes.
So not there, not there. That's the punching. That's the punching. That's punching. Actually, real quick before I do this, I want to test one thing. Oh yeah, they can shoot each other.
Yeah.
One stops.
Yeah, at some point we can make Kai Blast collision, so if the two Kai Blasts hit each other, they should just explode instead of flying through each other, but
Yeah, we can
I'm
add
not
a new
ready.
kind of impact. Sure.
Yeah, a Kai Blast impact, which we don't have to do that today or anything, but yeah, at some point they should explode when they hit each other.
Let's see. Farther down.
Yeah, it's a form of defense. If you see a Kai Blast coming, you can just shoot one and blow it up.
Yeah,
As
that's
long as you're not
I worry that, I guess my not worry, it's just I think realistically, we're getting the fundamentals down, but now for me, because I'm still new to this, even though it's working really well, I worry it hangs together like a thread. So when I go, okay, we need to do like Kai Blast impacts if they impact each other. It's like, okay, to me that's a whole day just to figure it out, just to make sure we don't fuck anything up. And if we can do more, that's great. But like that's like a one. Let's just do that, and not break anything.
Yeah, not anything for sure.
So I suspect that even though it seems like we're adding a lot, and we are, I think as the game gets a little bigger, I'm going to proceed a little more cautiously as we go.
Yeah.
Okay, so here we're in Kai Blast, right? Okay, so and we are in player 0 clearly, right?
Yes.
Okay, so if the button is pressed, okay, we have a whole string of ands here, right? And the Kai Blast is false, and, right, we need another condition here.
Yes.
And P0 chi is greater than or equal to P0 chi increment, right?
I think so. Then, yeah.
Everything else should stay the same. That's all it should take.
Yeah.
And we do the
Yeah.
same thing right here.
Yeah.
And we're going to add it at the end just like the other one.
Yeah.
And P1 chi is greater than or equal to P1 chi increment.
Yep.
I think that'll do it.
Right.
So now I'm just going to start shooting, which is this button. And is the chi going down?
No.
Because we didn't. Oh, all we're doing, yeah. We didn't do that yet, right? We need to. Okay, hold on.
Oh, we need to actually.
We need to decrement. We need to decrement the chi value.
Yeah, we need to make the percentage of everything actually go down within the gauge. Like you could
Right.
just copy and paste the health bit up and then change it to Kai from the punches.
Yeah, I just
Similar to that. It's basically that same.
I just need to think about exactly where to put it. Yeah, doing it's the easy part. I think knowing where where to put it is the slightly more difficult thing. So
you want it to happen every time they shoot a Kai Blast, whether or not it makes impact.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so somewhere in this section.
I think
actually in both of those.
I think probably
Or-
just right here. So think about what's happening here. We press the button. If it's not okay, and then
Yeah, if it's false, then do the thing, and if it's
that just says which
true,
direction to move it.
Yeah.
Then we update the
Yeah,
grid.
so-
We flip Kai Blast to true, and whenever we flip Kai Blast to true, we immediately want to decrement the Kai Blast value, right?
Yes.
So I
Lower the percentage.
think right here is the place to do it.
Yeah.
But I want to
Seems-
before I do it, I want to. Oops. Before we actually do it, I want to make sure it's not here in the loop. No, it's not going to be part of the loop, right? Because this is just controlling the movement of this, right? So it's got to be
Yeah,
right here.
and-
As soon as the button is pressed, so P0 Kai Blast equals true, and P0 Kai equals minus equals P0 Kai increment. I think it's that simple.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it made sense.
Which one is player 0? I forget now.
Goku, I think.
Let's see here. Okay, it's not that one. Yep. Is this it? Which button is it? It's not that one. Not that one.
Huh.
Okay, so that's not working.
Not yet.
Oh, we need to.
Oh, end it? Oh, wait.
No, we need to update the. We need to redraw the gauges.
Mm.
Let me look how we did this with the punching.
Yeah, with the health on the punching. Yeah. Yeah. Jeez,
Oh, we gotta update. We gotta update the. We gotta do this nonsense. We gotta update the percentages.
Yeah, update the percentage and do that division.
Right. That's it. I know. Okay, so yep. P0 Chi, and then so we take P0 Chi percentage equals P0 Chi divided by P0 max Chi.
Boom. Yeah.
And that should do it.
Yeah, now I think we're thinking.
It's this player, and it's the letter A, and now that's working. So
and
now
you shouldn't be able to get close to Frieza and just shoot them all and see if he stops shooting when you run out of Kai.
Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect.
Okay. So I just want to run it one more time. I want to test a couple things real quick. We're moving this player.
Dude.
We're getting good at this.
It's coming together. It's coming together. Look at him go.
And it stops.
Yeah.
All right.
Now we can something.
Now we don't have anything. We don't have anything that makes it go up yet. But
I can add something into the punches to where when they punch, it increases. So whenever they hit, your Kai goes up a little.
Sure, but let's do this. Let's copy this.
I was just contemplating that in my head too, and I was like, that was what I came up with. I was like, oh, if we just made it to where the punches increases.
Okay, so this should go right at the end of player 1 button press. Paste. Oop. Oh no, what I do? Yeah, there we go. Player 1. Player 1.
Oh yeah, no.
Player 1. Player 1. Player 1. You know, it's funny. We're doing everything right. It's just when I keep forgetting to do these update. You know, these. There we go. Okay, this should work for both now. So we've got this character moving around, and I think it was X. Yep. So Frieza is blasting, and if we come down here, we're still blasting. We're doing some damage. Now we're still blasting, and
no damage, and the Kai's going down.
And then we stop.
No, you can't.
And I can't do any damage either. It's working perfectly.
Yes.
And then we do this character. Which button was it? Not that one. Not that one. Oh hell, oh A, that's right. Okay, so we are doing damage when we're in line. No damage there, no. But there we go, we're damaging, and then we're gonna stop damaging. It's working great. It's working perfectly.
It is. Good go.
Nice, check that out.
That looks awesome. Yeah, now we just need a way to refill that gauge so that you can get your Kai Blast back.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah. So tell me more about how you want.
I'm thinking that whenever you are actually having like a punch impact,
Mm-hmm.
then there would be something to increase the Kai increment there. The big
Okay.
zero punch.
Sure.
Yeah, maybe right after
By
you
the
hit.
same increment.
Uh, I want it to go up faster than it goes down, I think. So that you can charge it, because there's not another way to charge it.
Okay. So we need to.
By like 3 or something.
Yep. So we need to add some variables if we're going to do that.
Yeah.
So let's call this Kai charge increment.
Maybe do increase, because I would like to try to implement a charge as an attack. So that would be maybe Kai increase or something like that. Or
Yeah, it's okay. Kai increase works.
to use.
And you want that to be like 3?
Yeah. Yeah, let's try that for now.
Okay. So then P0 Kai increase equals Kai increase. And P1 Kai increase. We may not need these two variables, but we'll just do it anyway. It's okay.
Yeah.
It might be a little redundant.
Oh, I just said if we need space later, maybe we'll.
Yeah.
About that.
No, we're running out of room. If you look, we've got we've used creeping up on a third of our stuff here. So, all right. So only when there's a punch impact, huh?
Yes. Only when we're actually dealing damage to the other character.
Okay, so this should be easy because wherever
it's taking down damage on them.
Yeah, whenever we are decrementing the health, we just increase the Kai on the other player.
Exactly. On the player doing the punching. It's gonna be so cool. So exciting.
And I'm just kind of I'm always scrolling. I know it's probably really annoying to watch, but I'm just like making sure I'm in the right spot, and
Not at all. I love this. I am engaged.
Detect player punches. Okay, if player 1... Okay, so this is where the health is being increased. If the health is greater than or equal to 3, then lower it. So right here is where the health is happening.
So right after that.
So basically we need to say...
Oh, it's happening twice because there's the LSIF.
I think it has to do with detecting the two different possible directions. Yeah. So we have to do it twice here as well.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking.
But what we need to do is probably... Because if your Kai is already maxed, you're not building any more, obviously, right? So we basically need to...
Stop at 100. You don't want to go over 100.
Right. So we need to do the same thing here. But I just need to make sure I'm in the right spot.
I think this makes sense to me. Yeah, in both of those spots on both sides of the LSIF. Right under both those healths.
Right.
And I think that'll be...
I think it's right here. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm in agreement.
So if... Okay, so who's doing the damage here? Player 0 is doing the damage, right?
Yeah. So you want to do player 0.
Right.
Here.
If player 0, Kai is...
less than or equal to 100?
Well, sort of. I think what we want to do is less than or equal to 100 minus
Oh yeah.
the chi. Chi. We called it chi increase.
Increment, I think.
I think it was increase. No, you're right.
There's another one by increase that
Um,
I think is in the next line. I think this one is
I think
chi
it's actually
increment.
P.
Oh yeah, P0 chi increment.
I think
And
it's
then that should bring it
it's
down by
increase,
2.
isn't it? Increase or increment? I'll go
I think
look.
increase
I already
you
forgot. I
wrote.
just wrote it and I already forgot.
I think you wrote the
Increase.
increase in the next line. Oh. Oh yeah, I guess I'm not sure which one it would be.
Well,
Oh
the
yeah, because you
increment,
would be getting. Oh yeah, let's do the increase. That's right.
it's increase.
Yeah, you're right.
Maybe those are
Sorry.
too confusing. I should disambiguate them, but that's okay.
No, that works.
So it was
Yeah, I get it
right.
now. What was messing up in my head. Yeah, you were right.
Okay, so if P0 chi is less than or equal to 100 minus the P0 chi increase, right?
Yes.
Then
P0 Chi's got to go up. So the
right,
increase.
P0 chi plus equals P0
Yeah.
chi increase. And then update the
Yes.
percentages.
Yeah, the percentages.
P0 chi divided by P0 max
Max.
chi.
Yeah.
And then do the same thing
For the
under the
other
other,
also.
right, exactly. So I need to copy all of this
Yes.
and come down here. So so right here, except
Yes. Perfect.
and those were exactly the same, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So we
Yeah, they
did.
should be. Yeah, because it's just yeah.
Mm-hmm. I
Yes.
think that'll do it for one of the players.
Yes. Uh-oh.
That's
Did
right.
we not end
Well,
something or something? Oh yeah. Oh wait, did we end it? Yeah, we did. Oh no, we didn't end it.
we didn't end it. That's the problem.
Oh.
Okay, now which player is which? I do this every time. I just have no ability to remember which player is which. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I mean, especially on the keyboard, it's so confusing. Yes. Okay.
Okay, it's the other player. It's this one. Okay, so we are shooting Kai. It's going down. Now we're going to come over here and punch the other player, which is which button? It is tab or left shift. We'll use left shift. Oh yeah, look. Okay, so I come over here and I shoot some Kai. It goes down, right?
Mm-hmm.
I come over here and I punch. Health is going down.
Yeah,
Kai
there
is
we
going
go.
up. Oop.
Nice.
No, I don't want to turn on sticky keys. It's annoying. That seems to work.
Yes. It looks like it stops just below 100 though. Would it be minus equals?
Well, hold on. What stops?
It looks like it's going to maybe 97 health or Kai gauge. Like you can't get back up to 100 right now.
Ooh, that's a good
See, like it's
question.
equal with the transformation bar right now, but I think that it wasn't getting back to the same length. It looks like it's stopping before 100.
Okay, so let's spend some Kai here. We are throwing some Kai blasts. Come down here and we start punching the other character. which was, oh yeah, so I have a little bug there. Let's figure out what's going on there.
So cool. I love it. Yeah, this is crazy.
So why isn't it going? So let me reason through this. Say we're at
Less than or equal to 100. Minus equals.
oh, because we're
penalty?
spending it. Oh yeah, okay. Um, I might need to be a little more specific here.
Okay.
Actually, I think there's a better way to do this. Because basically we want to say if it's less than or equal to that, but if it's the problem is we've spent how to put this. Let's say we use 2 and we're at 98. Okay, because we used a Kai blast at 1 Kai blast. Now we're at 98 Kai.
Yeah.
Now we're at 98. So we are. If we are less than or equal to 100 minus that, which we're not anymore, because so that's the case that's not being accounted for. So
we just make it go not the same speed for now.
no, no. There's a way around this.
I'll let you think.
Yes, thanks. Let me think the best way to do this.
For sure.
I think we just need to say else if P0 Chi equals. Oh, let me see. I don't know. It's just this is tricky. I don't know why. Why is this trickier than the health?
I guess because I don't know, because it's going back up.
We just need to say there's a max,
Yeah, it needs to get back to the max, and then not go above that.
In a way, the health is easier because it doesn't ever go up, really.
Yeah, exactly. The Kai is the most confusing like that. The Kai gauge has a lot happening.
I have an idea here. I think this will work. I'm not sure this is the elegant way to do it. This end goes away, right? Because it goes after the end goes after the series of ifs and else ifs.
Oh, okay. So does the end for the health percentage go away too, or? Oh, because it'll connect that to the other if. Or that is the new if, so it'll connect these two.
I think here's what we need to do. Otherwise, if P0 Chi is less than 100, then P0 Chi equals 100, and P's, we have to update the percentages. This will work. So basically, because the case we weren't counting, if you look at the way this was written, and I think it's the way to do it, I do think it's the right way to do it. If the P0 Chi is less than or equal to 100, then we're adding the increase, which is 3, right? So, but let's say we used one Chi Blast, which is gets us down to 98. Then it would not be the case that P0 Chi is less than or equal to 100. Oh, and 100 minus the Chi increase. So we need to account for this weird case where we're right on the edge.
Perfect.
Which is what this does.
Yeah.
And I think if we do the same thing, we need to add an end.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So cool thinking like this. It's just like a different
And I think we need to do the same thing. Where else would we do it? Right here. If this, we need an else if. We need to get rid of this end.
Yeah. And then copy and paste. Or type it out, yeah.
We need an else if. And let's just paste this. Ugh, actually, I can just do it. It's okay. Else if P0 Chi is less than 100, then P0 Chi equals 1. We set it to 100.
Yes.
And P0 Chi percentage equals P0 Chi divided by P0 max Chi. And then we have to close off that else if statement. And that should do it. Okay, so we're on this player. I'm just going to test it here. I'm going to test a couple things, actually. Let's throw some Chi Blasts. That's working as expected. We come up here and we punch, which is that button. And it's increasing the Chi.
Yeah.
Now we need, hold on. What?
That looks like it's at 100.
Yeah, but I want to test one. The weird case we were trying to figure out is what happens when we throw one Chi Blast. Boom. So that gets us down by 2, right?
2. Yes.
Now, what we need to do is come up here and make sure that when we punch, it gets us all the way back up to 100, which it should. And it does. That did it.
Yep. Dude.
Now we should do the same thing for the other player.
Yes.
Good times, huh?
I love it. Yeah, I got carried away messing around with Pico 8 the other night, just trying to figure some of this stuff out. Been pretty inspired. And I didn't go to Max's, so I had nothing happen. So I was like, I gotta do some type of art.
So let's see here. After...
Yeah, I love this.
This is after...
programming.
It's fun, isn't it?
Yeah, it's super fun. I love creating stuff.
Okay, so we need all of this. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
At least the else if half. I don't remember if first half was in there or not.
Oh, yeah, you might be right. Did we do that already? We didn't. Okay.
Okay, perfect. What?
Okay, now, but we're on player 1 now, right?
Yep. Yep. And then one more.
We need to do it the same thing right down here.
Yep.
So we need to take all of this. right?
Oh, good. Yeah.
Let me come down here, and we're going to go down to here and paste, right?
Yep. Boom. That should work.
And that should work, just like that.
Yeah.
All right, so moving this player, we are shooting some Kai. We're doing damage when we shoot the Kai. Get away, we're not... Actually, hold on, was that... Oh yeah, it's okay, it's just... Yeah. Now we come over here and we punch, which is Z, I think, right? Yep. And...
Yep. Looks like you're at 100.
Yep, and but let's test our weird edge case. So we blast one Kai blast, boom. Now I come up here, and if I hit one punch, it should go back up to 100. Oops. Oh, it didn't.
Oh.
Oh, it did. Okay, well, hold on here. What happened?
Yeah, this maybe just glitched that time or something.
I think I see what happened. I think probably we were. The reason it didn't look like it was going up is because not every change might be visible in the bar, because this bar is a finite length and not very many pixels. So if you move down by a weird fraction, it may not update the bar until you punch a little more, and it may not look like it's charging until you charge a little more. So it might have just been some weird fraction. So let's test this again. So we do one of these. It was only one, right?
Yep.
We come over here, and now we do one of those. Oh, weird. It's not going up. Why not?
Yeah, you're punching a lot.
What did I do wrong?
Yeah, what in the world? Maybe we missed a 1 somewhere or something.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Oh, what the hell? Uh-oh. But it's working on the other player.
Yeah, so something's amiss here. Okay, so if P1 Chi is less than or equal to 100 minus P1 Chi increase, that seems right. P1 Chi plus equals P1 Chi increase. P1 Chi percentage equals P1 Chi divided by P1 max Chi. P1 Chi is less than 100, then set P1 Chi. There it is. That's a typo.
Oh, nice.
Typo.
Nice.
That's it.
There it is.
Okay, so we do one Kai blast. We come over here and we punch, and it goes right back up.
Oh.
There we go. Save.
Save fight. Yes.
Check it out.
Let's go. Check it out.
All right, let's go back to our Trello here.
Yes.
And there we go. We did that.
Nice.
I don't think I'm going to worry about the explosion sprites yet.
Yeah. Let's not do that right now. That sounds like a lot.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, dude.
All right, so I'm just going to kind of experiment here. So we're punching, not punching anything, are punching something, damage is happening. We're Kai blasting, we're not hitting anything though. Kai is going down. Now Kai's going down and we're doing damage. And if we come up here and we punch, we are doing damage and the Kai is going up correctly.
Nice.
I think it works pretty well.
And you can only shoot as long as you have Kai Blast, Kai Gauge. And it shoots no matter what, and it lowers Kai no matter what. Yeah, it's working just right.
I think so. Let me
So
send.
cool.
I'll send it over to you.
Yes, thank
Let
you.
me hit the Be Right Back button here, and let me go to my. I need to again do all this weird stuff I have to do with the getting access to this file. Let's see. Need
Cool.
to show hidden files, Windows hidden files. Yep. Now I should be able to email it to you. Okay. Compose. Let's see here. Game in progress. 6/8/2025. Let's attach a file. Let's see, it's under users, app data, roaming, Pico 8, carts, fight, fight.p8.
Yay!
Send.
Thank you very much.
Well, I'll tell you what. Are you set up to demo it right now, or are you not?
No, not right now.
Oh, okay. I was gonna watch you play with it, but that's okay. Oh, let me.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta turn off my hidden files so I don't mess up any of my programs here. View. Do not show the hidden items. Okay. All right.
You realize you could close it like that. Cool.
Do what?
I didn't realize you could like close it.
Oh, it's not closed. It's actually clear
Oh,
screen.
clear screen.
Sensor clear
Clear
screen.
screen.
Yeah, just to make it easier on the
Yeah.
eyes.
Nice.
Yeah, check it out, man.
Nice. Look at it go.
Kai blasting, boom. It's gonna be awesome, man. It works.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna get in here and upload some of my art ideas. Just keep it basic so we can like pick one, and then yeah, that way we can decide which Kai blast to use.
What do you mean upload your art ideas?
Like the art that I've done.
Yeah.
Well, I'll just like upload. Well, I'll redraw them into this version of Fight.
Oh, and then
I've
we
got
can.
my own little version where I just was like taking up all the space and like just trying
Yeah,
different
yeah.
ideas.
Let's keep this one the canonical version, and then if you want to update the art, and we can.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That
Yeah,
works
so I
perfectly.
think I'll try to do that between our meetings so that next time some of my new art ideas will just be in Fight.
Let's make a list
keep
of
it
what we
clean
want to
and-
do next time.
Yes.
So I think we want explosions on the Kai Blast Impact. I think that's doable.
That would be cool. That'd be really cool.
Update sprites based on any new versions of the artwork. Sound good?
Yes.
And we want to do what now? What else?
It would be cool if we could have like an end round happen if the timer hit 0 or the health hit 0 on either character.
Well, let's see. I think what we probably need to do. Let me think. Let's display. I'm going to be really granular here. Display round indicators.
Nice.
Okay, that way, even if we're only on round 1, we can at least slap an indicator up there, right?
Yeah.
And then, so we can say if we're in round 1, then show this. If we're in round 2, do that. And we created a variable for rounds already. So, and then I think thinking ahead. When you start a round, do you want there to be like a countdown, like a 3, 2, 1, go, or just like get ready to fight, go, or just do you want anything like that?
Yeah, something like that would be pretty cool. Yeah,
Okay.
if there was some sort of words displayed, yeah, like 3, 2, fight, or something like that.
So how about we'll call it round start and end
3, 4, fight.
Announcements.
Yep. Just had one round going, that would be really cool. It just
Yeah.
like restarted the fight when you died.
But we could automatically go, I'm just thinking through the flow. We could go, you start the game, you do the character selection screen, which we're not worrying about yet, but you start the game and it goes, get ready to fight. and then
Yeah.
boom, and then that goes away and you're in the fight. And then the round ends and it says, player such and such Goku wins round X, whatever the round value is, right? And then
Yeah.
we're immediately and it loops back and says, okay, now we're in round 2. Start that loop again. Go, okay, get ready to fight. Round 2 is starting.
Yes.
Then you fight again, and then boom, 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 and you keep track of who's won which rounds, right?
That would be amazing. Yes.
Okay, so create round loops,
Yes.
and
That
basically
would be
there will only ever be 3 rounds, right?
Yeah.
For rounds 1, 2,
A max
and
of 3 rounds is the best 2 out of 3. So.
right. So it might only be 2, but max of 3.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so there's a lot to figure out there, and I think that is what I like about this is this starts to put it in an overall game loop, So we can always add more players and we can add more mechanics. But if we get this game loop working, at least the game is functional and it feels like a 3-round game.
Exactly. Yeah,
So I think that's probably,
different.
and that sounds easier than figuring out some of the more difficult mechanics we've talked about. So
Perfect. I love that you said that.
so let's do this.
Cool.
Because as of right now we've got 1 round, but it doesn't feel like a complete game. But in theory, even if we did nothing else, we could have a complete game with these 2 mechanics, and then we could worry about adding more mechanics.
Yeah. When do you want to do it?
What is today? Today's probably not till Thursday because I've got to do some Uber driving to make up some. Oh, the bad news! I got bad news. We had to pay $4,000 to fix Susan's car. Her car overheated on the freeway, and that is going to put the kibosh on our planned trip to Ashland. We can't spend more money when we already have to spend $4,000 to fix a car. So it'll be a little while before we can get back up there, but we want to get this car paid off and then get up there. So. I'm not sure when, but probably later in the summer or early fall, somewhere in there is probably the next time we can realistically get up there. So,
Okay.
I'll keep you posted.
Perfect. Thank you. Yeah. Dang. Sorry to hear about that. What? Yeah. Just overheated.
It did. Yeah.
Man.
It's just it's an old car. It's an 18-year-old car. So. And
Yeah.
still paying $4,000 is cheaper than buying a new car. So we're just fixing it and. Well, look at all the stuff we've done. Look at our list of completed things.
Yeah, look at it.
It's nice to look at a list of done things.
It is.
I'm thinking of other cool things we could do. Maybe like a title screen.
Yeah, that would be really fun.
So I think these are fun things for you to work on your end. Is probably just like. Make a bunch of sprites that collectively make a title screen.
Yeah.
Either like a cool logo or something that comes across the screen made up of 20 sprites or whatever it is, right? But small enough where we're not going to use up too many of our resources.
Yeah.
So that would be, I mean, worst case, we can always just put text on the screen and go, this is like an Atari game where it's just, text title on the screen, worst case, right? But I think we can probably do something slightly cooler than that.
Yeah.
And I'm actually going to start, let's see, I'm just going to say think about, think about character selection screen. Some more. And, start to design character selection screen. I've got a couple of ideas. I think I've got an idea of how it might work, so.
Perfect. Yeah. See that.
It might be the kind of thing where I might actually start a separate file, just so I don't mess with the game too much, and kind of work out the kinks in a totally separate file.
Cool.
That way, I just don't break our game. I think that's going to take a bit of experimentation.
Cool.
And why ruin our game if I don't get it right? So. Yeah.
Yeah. I already experienced what you're talking about. Yeah, I thought this would be fun and simple. It sounded like something I might be able to implement, and I was playing a lot with the kids
at my house. So I was like, maybe I can get it to where, whenever we get the health of 0 or timer 0, it restarts the fight. Like I wasn't really necessarily trying to do multiple rounds, just like one round, just have it like restart and redraw the
Yeah.
screen was my only plan. I was like, okay, if their health at 0 or the timer at 0, then clear screen, redraw everything. But I couldn't figure it out.
So I
I'm
just
very
said
excited to see
design
how it
character
works.
selection screen in a separate file. Yeah, that way we just and then we can just copy and paste the relevant stuff into our game and change the variables and whatnot.
This is great.
So I think because basically all we're going to need to do, everything that we've created so far is only in the action part of the game, right? So we need to have when the game loads, we need to say, what screen are we on? Screen 0 will be the title screen. Screen 1 will be the character selection screen. Screen 2 will be the action part of the game. Screen 3 will be maybe something at the very end. Whatever. And so we'll start at the game and say, when we have both the draw loop and the update functions, we'll basically have to add some very large, all-encompassing if-then statements. We basically say, if we're on screen 0, then do these, look for these inputs, the character selection inputs. Otherwise, if we're on scene 1 or 2, whatever it is, then we're going to look for player action inputs. Else, we're in screen 3 and do something different. Maybe ignore the inputs because we're not looking for inputs. So we're just going to make these giant if-then statements surrounding what we've already done to distinguish between the different screens.
Really excited.
I don't think that'll be too hard. I just think we need to be extremely careful about where we put the ifs and the ends that all encompass it.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll be too hard though.
Cool.
And then, at a certain point, we have to decide, is the indenting helpful or do we delete all the indenting? But so it's kind of helpful, but it's kind of not. I go back and forth. Because I'm such an old school guy. All the programming languages I used when I was a kid didn't have indenting. So when I have to look at the indenting, I'm like, okay, it's helpful for tracking the nesting, but it's also like, God, how far do you indent here? It's super annoying. So I go back and forth on it. And it looks like it works either way. It seems to just ignore the indents and not require them. It allows them but ignores them. So, but my point is, if we add an all-encompassing if-then statement, we might need to increase the tabbing on all of our subsequent if-then statements, or just delete all the tabbing altogether.
Okay.
Not sure which yet.
Cool.
Well, pretty good work.
Oh yeah, great work.
All that went a little more smoothly than I thought it might. Not bad for an hour and 20 minutes, huh?
Yeah, not bad at all. And now the Kai blasts are working, and the health gauges and Kai gauges are working appropriately.
Yeah, and then the nice thing is the way we've done it, we can literally just change the variable in one spot.
Exactly. Yeah, that was really smart. I like that.
Yeah, and then obviously test it to make sure we haven't broken anything whenever we make a change. So it really feels fun to play with. I'm pleased that we chose this grid system. It moves around in a very satisfying way.
Dang. Yeah, this is perfect.
I was worried that the grid might be a little too restrictive in terms of movement, but I actually think it's great.
Yeah, same. Especially when we were playing with the controllers, everything got so much easier.
It's also unambiguous when you score a hit. Like, boom, you're like square on,
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I like your planet art. The planet art looks really cool.
Thanks. Yeah, I did a bunch more.
Oh, did
and
you?
I made some that are really canon. Like I made some spaceships from it, and I made a certain planet from there that's really recognizable to anybody who knows the series. Yeah, so I made a bunch of new planets to test out and just see which ones. I don't know how much space we'll have.
I really like this one. It looks like there's this someone took
my favorite one.
Someone took an axe to this planet, and it's got all these little remnants that are floating in space. I love it.
Frieza blasts it and blows the whole freaking planet up to kill Goku. He can't beat Goku, but he can breathe in outer space. So he's like, I'm just gonna destroy this planet, kill you that way. But then Goku beats him before the planet.
I just want to make sure. Oh yeah, if we reduce the Kai and then we charge it again by punching, we can then once again do Kai blasts, and it works totally as expected.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's rock solid.
Yeah, look at it. Ah!
I might even do a little cosmetic surgery in our timer because right now, if it's a single digit, it doesn't look centered anymore. I can probably fix that. I'll bet you.
Oh,
I
cool.
can say if it's if it's greater than 9, then position it here, and if it's you know less than or equal to 9, then position it here.
Yeah.
Little cosmetic stuff like that. That's the fun stuff. Like once it's basically working, now you can tweak it here and there a little bit.
I love this.
It looks pretty
Cool. Yeah,
good.
I'm just getting a bunch of new ideas suddenly. Yeah,
I'm
cool.
I'm happy with our Starfield too. This is the right balance. It's busy but
Yeah.
not too busy.
Yeah, I love the Starfield
Yeah,
a lot.
I wouldn't mess with that at all. Really, I
There's,
think it looks great.
there's only one thing that I've been thinking. I just don't want that big star to form down where the players are.
Mm-hmm. We could tweak that.
But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I figured that wasn't a huge
Yeah, no,
deal.
that's easy
But
enough. We
every
could
now
tweak
and
that.
then, if it just forms right behind the character, it's a little bit like, whoa, what's
Yeah,
happening
yeah.
there?
No, we could tweak that. Mm-hmm.
But it's not a lot. And then
We could even
once
just
you
make
move,
sure. We could even just make sure that it only shows up in the top, 2/3 of the screen, or the top 2/3 of the grid, or something too.
killer.
Yeah, no one will ever be the wiser.
Exactly. Yeah, I already did that with the planet, kind of. I made it
Mm-hmm.
to where it doesn't form in that bottom grid
Right.
anymore, basically.
Exactly. And that looks great.
It worked every
It
time.
looks good it looks good every time.
Yeah, I love it so much. Yeah, and the different planets really make a huge difference in how the field feels for one reason or another.
That's good because
So,
because then again you'll be thinking about these things because every because you have to make decisions about these like do you want it to change for every round or you just want the whole 3 rounds to take place on the same
same.
do you want the player to choose or do you want it generated randomly which world you're in which zone
I
which
want the
area.
player to choose, and random would be a fun choice to have if we could do. You
Right.
can pick which
So
planet or do.
that's why we're gonna have to design the character screen carefully because we
Yeah,
really have not
right.
just the characters to select, but we have a couple of other choices to make as well. Maybe.
Exactly. I
Yeah.
was
So
thinking about adding in another one too, if we have space to add in which Kai blast you choose, which you shoot, so you can actually pick the Kai. I've never had that option before in a Dragon Ball Z game, but it would be fun to not have like a locked in Kai blast for each character, but you actually got to pick which color your Kai blast was. So you could pick your character,
yeah.
your Kai blast, and but just throwing that out there, and that's not like doesn't have to happen, but that would be
Well,
cool if
yeah,
there's
because
space.
we're gonna start running out of room, and I could see.
Exactly. Yeah.
I
Some
you know
space.
what we might do is have not just one character selection screen, but like a player 1 setup screen, then a player 2 setup screen. Player 1 chooses first, maybe, or does it matter? Player 2, then
Doesn't matter. And if there's a way for them to choose at the same time, that would be cool too.
well,
Be on
maybe
the same screen.
yeah. Well, let me think about it. I might have to just pull out a piece of paper and sketch it out a little bit. So
Cool. Yeah, that would help me too. Yeah, see what you have in your mind, and then I can kind of build from there because I'm not entirely certain. And with the way the coding works, I'm just a little bit more like
well,
not certain
I
on
think
what the
anything's
stars are.
possible. I think it's just a matter of like laying it out in a way that makes sense, where the flow is obvious and it's you know if how do you and then how does it work? Like okay, you're hitting left and hitting right, and then you hit start or select or A or whatever, and it locks in your choice. How does it know your choice is locked in, and can you go back and change it or not? And so there's a bunch of questions. It's not as complicated as what
Just
we've
throw
already
them on
done,
the
but
grid.
it's not trivial either.
We can just make the same grid that we did for the fight screen and
Mm-hmm.
display all the sprites within that grid system with a plain background and maybe like some words at the top that say choose your player or something like that or choose your fighter.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, what
then
I
you
was
have
thinking
like
was like
each
not having
symbol.
like 15 grids, but having like maybe like alternating like here's one grid position, some space, a second grid position, and a space between them, and then a variable to track. So there's a player 1 character selector that highlights them, and as you hit right,
Yeah.
it increments that. Now you're highlighting number 2, and then you hit it again, you're highlighting number 3. Hit left, you go down, you're highlighting number 2, and there's a variable that's tracking that. And then if you lock it in some way, you hit A, you hit start, you hit whatever, not sure yet, then it doesn't allow you to change your choice or something. I don't know exactly. You need some way of knowing that the player's made a choice, right? So and accepted it in some way. So
Sick.
yeah, I'm not sure exactly yet. So I think probably something. What I'm kind of envisioning, I think, is like, you've got a character selection screen. You're moving your highlight box left and right. You hit A, it makes a choice. Maybe hit B to unselect or something else to unselect, and then it keeps that one highlighted. Maybe grays out the others,
Yeah.
and then
For that player, I guess.
For that player,
Yeah.
yeah. So 2 rows: player 1 selection, player 2 selection. Each player can move left and move their highlight box left and right. They hit A or something to make a choice. That box stays highlighted. That stays in color. The other ones turn gray or something like that. So a gray version of the character selection sprites, something like that. So they're grayed out, so it's clear which one is selected in a very fun way. And then you could do the same thing for the Kai Blast. Player 1 choose your Kai Blast, player 2 choose your Kai Blast. But then you have other choices. Which world do you want to be in? I worry it's going to get cumbersome at a certain point. So,
Is there a way to make the colors more transparent?
I don't think so. I don't
No?
think
Okay.
I don't think there's a transparency function.
Okay.
I haven't seen one anyway. I can look, but I don't think so. I've browsed everything pretty good. I would at least seen it. So I don't think so. So probably we'll just have to have a separate grayscale version of these,
Okay.
or not. Maybe we
Yeah.
just leave the highlights box around it, and that's the one that's selected, and that's good enough.
Or make something else that's like an unhighlighted box that could go over the characters, that we could just make one sprite but put it over all the other characters when one is selected.
Right. Yeah, maybe like a grayed out box around the others.
Yeah, that would appear over the rest of the
Yeah,
characters.
like
That way we
like
just
little
make one
frames
sprite
around
for
them,
it.
and the one that's highlighted is in red or blue or whatever for the two players, and the ones that are not
Yeah.
highlighted have a boring gray box around them.
Yeah.
That'd be just as good and easier, probably.
Yeah, and less sprites.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm trying to
Now,
think of
selecting the
sprite.
worlds is more challenging because those are bigger.
Yeah.
So you'd have to have miniature versions of them, or just the words of them, or something, probably. Although the screen's pretty big, maybe there is room for all that. We could have choose your one of 10 different worlds or something. 2 rows of 5, or even 1 row of 5.
Yeah.
You know,
It's so cool. And a
choose.
random slot. Yeah, I
Yeah.
probably have about 9 planets.
I-
Oh no, I have more than that.
And then I mean that's feeling like a game.
It is feeling like a game.
It's amazing how it went from idea across the table at Creekside Pizza to something you can actually play now.
Yeah, it's a real
And it's
so fun with
and
controls.
really not to I don't want to minimize the amount of work we've done or make it, because really this is already more complicated than some Atari games, and we don't have the game loop like the starting and starting again, and but once we add those things in, this is already a little more complicated than many popular old arcade games.
Yeah, really cool. And wait till you see it with music and get to have that feel of it too. It's so fun.
So we can do that. We can add in some of the music and add in some of the sound effects and stuff. That sounds great.
Yeah.
But so really, we should already pat ourselves on the back a little bit. We've essentially created something that is pretty robust compared to if the bar is video games circa 1981.
Yeah. I know, it looks really good too. I love the aesthetic.
I do too. I'll be proud when we're done with this. We can throw it on a website or whatever and go, look at what we made.
Look at it. Yeah, and I'm already contemplating the next game. Trying to think of different fun ideas.
Well, yeah, I want to try something totally different. I mean, I've got game ideas
Yeah.
too, and I've got even from game ideas ranging from simple little like breakout like games to some simple adventure based games, from text adventure to like light graphical, highly pixelated stuff. I've got this idea for a weird little like procedurally generated open world fishing game. I've got wacky ideas for games, so.
Yeah, you'll have to tell me some. We
Mhm.
can work on one of your ideas next.
My friend Julia's husband Christian, you haven't met him yet. You met Julia though. He has this idea for like a circular shaped breakout game. You remember the old breakout game, right? There's a paddle at the bottom and then the color bars at the top, and you basically destroy the color bars one brick at a
Oh
time
yeah,
with a Pong pixel. So something like that,
yeah.
but round, where the things are rotating, and you've got you're in the middle. Your paddle, you rotate your paddle in the middle, and the bars are rotating around you, and the ball's flying around, and something like that, but breakout like, but round. I was like, I like that because it's not clear what would happen in the edge cases. What happens when your ball gets outside the bars? What happens? Which direction does it go? And also even doing weird stuff with the math, calculating arc lengths and stuff as it rotates around. Really complicated math would be necessary. Not super complicated, but some trigonometry would be involved probably. And so it makes the former math person in me happy to think about. Um, so yeah, who knows? You can't do 10 things at once though, so we'll have to just decide what to do next after this.
Yeah. Perfect. I love it.
Well, I think
Yeah, I'm
for
done.
for now, I think you should keep working on the artwork and the music and stuff like that, but also
Oh, for
play
sure.
test what we've got. Get two controllers out now. You can hammer away at each other, and things will happen.
Yeah, they're gonna love it.
Well, I'm curious whether
Very excited.
is are we doing damage so quickly that the round is over after 10 seconds, or is it fun enough where and you can escape easily enough where it's hard enough to do damage that it's fun, and you're 80 seconds into the round as opposed to 5 seconds into the round.
Yeah, that is definitely the thing to figure out.
Because we can always make it do less damage. We can just change the numbers,
Yeah,
and all of a sudden you're doing 1 damage as opposed to 2, or you're increasing the Kai by
exactly.
1 as opposed to 3. That's easy to fix. We just want to make sure that, and maybe 99
Yeah, start
seconds is
messing
way too
with
long for a round. Who knows, right? So.
Yeah, I would like it to be a good time, and for every now and then, like you don't even beat them in that amount of time.
Well, I think that when the other player is trying to escape from you, it's going to be harder to do damage than you think.
It is. Yeah,
So,
already we've had some rounds that were pretty long
just
between me
with
and my
punching.
friend. Yeah, just punching because we couldn't hit each other. We're just like both flying around, and we're just laughing the whole time. They look like little gnats, and we're just both holding the punch button. So the characters are just punching, and anytime we collide, one of us will lose a little bit of health.
I love it.
So we can help, but yeah, it was really fun. Yeah, I got the kids were more interested, but yeah, the kids came and played. Bubba was playing with me.
I
It
love
was
it.
really fun. Yeah, I'll get more and more people involved, especially now that this is happening. And I think when the round ends, they'll get more engaged. That's why I was like, maybe I can get a round in because it's more exciting. It's like, oh, I won, but you're not really certain who won half some of the times.
Even if
We're
it's just
coming to go
words on the screen, Goku wins the round, or wins round one, or whatever, right?
yeah, player one wins.
Mm-hmm.
Player two wins. Oh yeah, dude. And then restarting the fight, just having it reload the fight and start fighting again would be
Yeah,
so cool.
I think probably what I'll do is, oh man, it's gonna in everything we talk about raises questions like, okay, how do you,
Yeah.
because basically what you need to do, like if you're going to wait to start the round, you need to disable the player input, right? So you say, so there's needs to be a toggle like player input active or not, true or false, right? And so if you're doing the countdown to start the round, get ready to fight or whatever it says, that then while that's happening, you need to disable the player input. And then that means later in the code you say, okay, all this fight code we have, we basically need to say, if if basically if the player input is set to true, then you can have all this fight stuff, and if the player input is set to false, then bypass it all essentially, and don't allow any player inputs. So the players just sit there until the fight starts. That's the kind of stuff I'm starting to think about. Like, what does it mean to add in these cool little game loop mechanics that enable or disable the player inputs?
That's so cool. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah,
it
I
makes
think I
sense.
think I don't think it'll be very hard actually.
Yay! I'm really excited.
As long as we do it
Because at some
iteratively,
point,
like let's just have a round start mechanic and an
and then
end
have
round.
an end where you die, then it restarts the round. That would be really sick to just start there.
Well, that's what I think. I think if we just start by saying, by default the round is 1 to start, and then
Yep.
then there's like a 5 second or 3 second get ready to fight thing. While that's being displayed, there's no player input that's allowed, so disable the player input. Once that time expires, turn on the player input, begin the countdown, look for the fight inputs, countdown goes. When you hit 0, either when you hit 0 or the player's health goes to 0, one of the player's health goes to 0, then disable the player input, end the round, pop up the player 1 wins wording or whatever, and then add 1 to the round and start the loop all over again.
And then it ends on the third one.
Yeah, or whenever someone
there.
whenever someone wins 2 rounds, essentially it ends.
Yeah, we would want some sort of thing. Yeah, I would draw a sprite whenever someone for whichever player won gets a sprite added.
Yeah, the Dragon Ball Z sprite, right?
Yeah, the Dragon Ball sprite.
Right. So, but I think we can treat that separately because basically, you don't want the indicator to indicate which round we're on. You want the indicator to see who's. So basically, like over, you can't really see my mouse, but like under the Goku bars, there'll be potentially 2 little Dragon Ball Z sprites, like the 1-star version and the 2-star version, and same thing under Frieza's bars, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no problem. That'll be easy.
Yeah, and they'll just appear once the player wins a round.
Yep.
It's like Goku won round 1, so now he has a Dragon Ball. It marks that he's won a fight. And then if Frieza wins the next one, then he'd get a Dragon Ball, and then there would be a third fight, and whoever won.
Yeah, that'll be easy.
You're gonna have to display a Dragon Ball, but
because you can just say, how many rounds has Goku, you just in drawing the gauges, you just, in addition to what's already there, you just say, if you have a variable that tracks the number of rounds that Goku's won, player 0 wins or something, and then you just, if it's 1, then you draw 1 sprite. If it's 2, then you draw the 2 sprites. And then the game ends whenever someone reaches 2.
Perfect.
But so it all sounds easy, but each of those things is an hour or 2 hours worth of work to get it right. So.
Oh, I love this.
Yeah. So we still have quite a few days of work to go on this, just to do those things. Yep. I think so.
And next time you see it, I'll have some new art loaded in.
Sounds awesome. Although I don't mess with it too much. It looks pretty cool. I want you to be happy with it though too. So.
All this stuff is still there. I added stuff. I didn't take anything out.
I'm anxious to see the Kai Blast that you got, the different Kai Blasts. So I like the way these look. But if there's better looking ones, that's cool.
Yeah, I like these ones a lot. And I'm thinking about maybe keeping them for if we do a super attack, having it be more aligned with like a bigger attack. Mm-hmm. And then because Kai Blasts are normally so small, so it is like that looks like a really long charged up Kai Blast when you know the series. So I made a couple of variants that were smaller.
The reason that I want to start being cautious, because if you look how many lines it took just to get Kai Blast working. Mm-hmm. So we're eating up our token count. So, and no matter what, we're going to need the game loop stuff. So that's why I think from here we need to add the game loop stuff, the different rounds, and the starting screen, and all this other stuff that makes it a usable game. and then see where we're at
Exactly.
and see how much room we have to add, and then maybe we
Yeah,
can trim things back. But if we
that's
start adding
exactly
too
right.
many mechanics, we're not going to have enough room for the game loop stuff. So
That's
let's
why I wanted to go to the game loop next. I was like, okay,
likewise,
we
yeah.
got punching and card blast. Let's freaking get some rounds going.
Yeah,
Get
even with those two mechanics, it's
characters.
a pretty robust game, and we could add a third
Yeah,
one and even more robust
yeah,
game.
it's
So
already incredibly fun for me anyway.
I'm actually not to toot my own horn, but this is impressive. This is a lot.
It is. Yeah, everyone I've shown has been really impressed. They're like, holy shit, this is crazy.
Yeah, it's almost like I learned something over the years.
All confused. I'm like, whoa, this is crazy. Yeah, no, you definitely have. It's
Sometimes
like
it
every
doesn't.
time I meet a person, you're
Sometimes
like,
it doesn't seem like it. It's like it's a slow learning curve. This is years and years of making
yeah,
tiny little programs. If I showed you, in fact, on my website, I could send you. Maybe I sent it already. I'll send you a link to the programming projects thing on my website, and you'll look. A couple of them are just like really simple, basic things. And it's like those, but that was days of work to make a simple thing work. And this is more
yeah,
complicated, and it's about as much time as I spent on those simple things. So I've clearly improved.
yeah, and it's working well.
But things like this, like this, there's little improvements I want to make, like this drawing the background. That doesn't need to be here. Look at all we're doing here is calling in functions. What I ultimately want to do here, just to make it simple, is take all of these things that are manual drawing things, make functions for them. So the only thing here in the draw loop is just function, 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 function. So you see the entire flow of the game at a glance in terms of what's being drawn to the screen.
Nice.
So there is some cleanup room to do here still,
Yeah,
but one thing at a time.
one thing at a time.
Exactly.
We have a really fun working game with cool art.
Yeah, I hope you're pleased because this. I remember how excited you were sitting at Creekside talking about the game, and here it is. You can play it now. It's not perfect. It's
Yeah,
not done, but you can play it.
I'm enjoying it every step of the process, and I really like that you're sending it to me in between every step, so we can reload those old versions if we want.
Well, it's important because that there probably is a way to do a backup on here, or but I don't know what it is. I probably could.
Yeah.
I could at least get it. I have a GitHub account. I could at least be backing this up on my GitHub account. So if we have a repository of previous versions, I should probably start doing that actually.
That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, even if I have to do it manually, just by like at every stage uploading the newest version to GitHub, will at least let us have a repository of it. So
Cool.
yeah, pretty exciting. Very exciting, I'd say. Oh, you know what we need to do? Let's do something fun. I'm not gonna send this change to you because it's such a minor change. This will be lumped in with the next one. Let's call this. We're calling it Frieza's Fury, right?
Yep. Oh, it took off the F's.
Oh yeah, habit. Frieza's Fury.
Yes.
Hold on. Design. Ooh, I did it again. I did the same exact thing. Designed by Dylan Metzing and Zachary Fruhling.
You put your name first, you're the coder. Or you could put, code written by Zachary and art designed by Dylan Metzing.
Sure. I mean,
Like that.
we're working on the coding together, but sure, whatever you want.
You're the mind behind it. We're also working on the art together. I guess, yeah. Or put your name first. I just feel like it's, you're doing the brunt work. I feel like.
Designed by.
I do have a lot of ideas, but this game specifically, I mean, I'm just looking at a bunch of other games that I've played my whole life. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, there we go. That feels right.
Oops. Let's see. Dragon Ball Z property of our copyright. We don't want to.
Fan parody.
Trademark is a trademark. Actually, let's call it Frieza's Fury Dragon Ball Z fan project. Clearly, we're not selling this. Obviously, make it really clear we're not selling it. Who owns Dragon Ball Z? What company? We'll look that up real quick.
Yeah. Toei Animation holds animation rights.
What?
And I can't read the Shueisha Sha and Bird Studio jointly own the overall rights to the Dragon Ball franchise.
What
It's
are they?
owned by Wikipedia.
It's on Wikipedia.
Toei Animation. It might be the only one we really need to do. TOEI space animation. They hold the animation rights. And Bandai Namco holds the video game rights.
And Bandai Namco?
Yeah.
Bandai Namco. How about that?
It's one word, I think.
Oh,
or one
like
name.
hyphenated or?
Just space. Bandai Namco, yeah.
Dragon Ball Z is a trademark of Toei Animation and Bandai Namco.
Yeah. At least there's a few others on here. I don't know if we need to write them all.
That's okay. It's good enough. Just cover our butts.
That seems very good and broad.
Frieza's Fury, Dragon Ball Z fan product. Designed by Zachary Fruhling and Dylan Metzing. Art by Dylan Metzing. Programmed in Pico 8 by Zachary Fruhling. Dragon Ball Z is trademark of blah 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 blah. All rights reserved.
Yes.
I mean, obviously you just can't sell this. This is just a passion project. So.
Yeah, not for sale.
Yeah. I love it. I love it.
Same. Yeah, we've done a very good job. Oh, look at it. So you fight.
There we go. I'll send that. That'll just be included in the next batch.
When I'm uploading the art, do you want me to mess around with uploading some of the sounds too, or like transferring over some of the sounds so you can hear some sound effects?
Yeah, I don't know. What's the best way to do that? I wonder. Why don't you just send me a file that I can play with? Save some things and just send them to me in a file or multiple files, and I can open them up and mess with them and just kind of see what they are, and then we can pick and choose a la carte and decide what to bring into the official version here.
Okay.
How about that?
Yeah, I'll just try to get over some of the. I might even just make new sound effects, honestly, because I was mostly not even paying it. Well, I was kind of paying attention to the sounds, but I was mostly focused on how am I going to even put the sounds into the game for myself, just so I could actually test it and see if it was running.
Oh, yeah,
so
yeah.
I kind of got lost on that project. It was really fun, and I got it working.
Because it's basically like, either when you hit a button or when an impact happens, and then the loop,
Exactly.
background music you might want to just play continuously, and so yeah, there's a lot.
I made this song. It plays the whole time you're fighting, and then I made punch effects that only punch. They only make the sound if you actually are punching the person, and then the Kai blast makes sound no matter where you're at.
And you got it working?
Yeah.
Awesome, that's fun.
Music and sound effects.
I don't know how to do that yet. I haven't messed around with sound effect. I don't know how to bring sound in yet.
It's super simple. You just put in music and the number wherever you want it to go, and it just brings it. You don't even have to do it. Yeah, or SFX and the sound effect.
I love it.
Yeah, depends on if you have a sound effect or a song. Yeah, and that was it. It was like, this is worth my time and energy. I got really lost in it. I was having a lot of fun with Pico 8 over the last weekend.
Yeah, it's an awesome environment. The only pain point is just how much scrolling you have to do on the code editor.
Yeah, agreed.
But
I was thinking that more and more.
I mean, you technically can work on a modern code editor and then just paste the whole thing right in here. I mean, that would solve that problem to some extent. But what a pain! So to have to do that all the time too. So just a different pain point.
Yeah. Sweet. This is awesome. Okay, so sometime Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday.
All right, cool.
I'm gonna
I'm about it.
I'm gonna end it on our awesome work here. Check it out.
Look at
Pretty good. Pretty good.
it is. I love it.
I'm glad you're happy with it. I am too. So that's always a good sign.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a pretty dang good sign. Everyone who's seen it is pretty impressed by it so far.
That's good. I mean, it's
Yeah.
it's easy to forget how magical it seems to people that don't know anything at all about programming. You're like, wow,
Yeah.
There's something
Exactly.
mystical to it almost.
It is. It's
And it is. It's like conjuring something out of nothing. There's a reason that the computer revolution in the late 20th century was strongly correlated with folks that were involved in the counterculture movement in the 60s, because there is something transcendent to it.
There is.
In fact, there's a really interesting book you might enjoy. It's called From Counterculture to Cyberculture. It kind of traces all the connections between the folks that were instrumental in technology in the 70s. They were all in counterculture in the 60s and early 70s.
Oh, cool.
Very, very interesting.
Yeah, that is super
And the kind of digital utopianism that went along with it, changing the world through technology in a positive way, as opposed to this technophobia that we have now.
Yeah. Which I think has been working.
Yeah, I think so. At least you can. Every time there might be a negative innovation in technology. Like AI might take over the world, but the flip side of that is people will use it subversively to make something awesome, and you just can't hold human creativity back. You just can't.
Mm-mm.
Well, I'm gonna get going for now. Get busy with the rest of the day, but I'm glad we made good progress today.
Same.
And I will keep you updated when we plan to get back up to Ashland. We want to get up there. It's just like, I can't, we certainly could put it all on credit cards, and it's like, no, let's just be smart, get the car paid off, and then we can head back up there and play. So,
yeah, that'll be all right.
Yeah, so we'll keep you updated, and we'll organize a big get together when we figure it out. So,
perfect.
I hope you guys have a good evening over there.
I will. Yep, we definitely will.
Good. Tell Brandy hi for us, and anyone else you see, tell Dalton and anyone else you see hi for us as well. So,
okay, I will.
The Ashland telephone game,
Zach says hi, everybody.
Exactly. Exactly.
Perfect. Sweet.
All right, I'll talk to you soon, Dylan. You have a good night.
Again.
What's that? Oh, what did you?
I look forward to talking to you again.
Yeah, likewise. Thursday at the very latest. But send ideas over. Keep the ideas flowing. It's I love the positive energy around it. So.
Oh, perfect. Thank you. Yeah, it's such a fun thing.
Absolutely. We make a good team working on this stuff. I think. Yeah, I think we have a future as game developers, part time or whatever. Right.
I've thought about doing it forever. So.
I would love to do this kind of thing as a living. This would be amazing. So.
Yeah.
We just got to come up with something that's viable enough where we can actually sell it,
Exactly.
Something super fun that's simple enough we could make and addicting enough where it could go on Steam and have it, be noticeable.
Exactly.
There's 100,000 titles on Steam, so you got to find a way to rise to the top.
Yeah. It's always possible.
It is.
If it's fun for us, it'll be fun for other people.
Exactly.
We focus on making something that's fun that we enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty inevitable that somebody else will enjoy.
Well, that's all the really cool things in technology, and that's what Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak always said about their Apple computer. They're like, we just wanted we couldn't find the kind of computer we wanted, so we decided to make one because we wanted to play with it.
Yeah. True.
If you make something you're happy with, other people will come along.
Yeah. Check it out.
You never know. It might be 10 years from now, maybe we'll have our own game company. Who knows, right? Or game studio.
Anything is possible.
It is.
Yeah, I want to be involved in a lot of different arts. So video games. And Max and I have been talking about making video game music since we were in college together.
Yeah. The
The
big
whole time we've been doing music, we've been talking about getting
big
into
business.
video games. So yeah, yeah. So I definitely see it as an opportunity and a possibility.
Well, send me over what you've got so I can at least learn a little more about the sound editor and see kind of the flavor of what you're going for. And that's one of the things we can do is start adding sound effects and music and get this game, add some sizzle to the
I did
game.
get carried away with my version, so
That's
don't get mad
okay.
at me.
But that's all easy though. It's easy to
It's
change.
not. Yeah, mine isn't anything to bring over. What I'll just send you Dylan's Fury, but it's not anything that I wanted to
I
put
love it.
into the Frieza's Fury. It's like not. Yeah,
Yeah,
just
unfortunately, I go the other direction. When you get Zach's Fury, it's like no, 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 no.
Yeah, I changed a whole bunch of stuff. I played around with the coding quite a bit because I wasn't considering sending it. I was like, this is my Fury I'm playing. I just wanted to play with coding. So I did get carried away.
Well, it sounds like you're getting the gist of it.
I am. Yeah, it's really fun.
What you should also do. I mean, yeah, we're working on this project, but start another little project for yourself. Come up with an even simpler game.
I've been thinking about that.
Try to make
Yeah.
tic tac toe or something on your own. Something super simple.
Oh, yeah, I hadn't thought of something that simple.
No, like you got to start simple. If you start more complicated than that, it gets out of control way too fast when you first get started. Think of like the simplest kind of game, even if it's as simple as like a stupid guess the number game. Try to come up with a guess the number game where you're looking for inputs and it says, if the number's too high, then say too high. If it's too low, then say too low, and then loop back. And those things are, even though they're super simple, they get you learning how the environment works and how these loops flow and how that works with the the update function and the draw function. Start small.
It's so much to consider. Yeah, right now I've just been watching videos of other people making games.
Right. At a certain point, you got to just go, I'm going to try making something simple myself.
Yes. Oh, I will. Yeah, that I guess that's kind of where I started within this game. It's like, instead of making a new game, I was like, okay, I'm going to see if I can make this happen in this game.
Yeah, which is good practice, but now try to make something even simpler than this on your own. Even if it's just even if it's just whack-a-mole, Yeah, I mean that's an easy one because think about what goes into tic-tac-toe. You've got 9 spaces, so you need variables corresponding to the 9 spaces. Each of those has 2 values or 3, blank, X and O. If you make a choice, then there's an obvious right choice and wrong choice. In fact, tic-tac-toe is a completely deterministic game. So, you can say if the grid looks like this and player does this, then the other player should do this. And you can come up with a long list of if-then rules that define a complete set of tic-tac-toe games because it's small enough you can do that. It's not like chess. And and then how do you it's even a tic-tac-toe game is pretty complicated.
Yeah, player 1 gets to pick if they're X or O.
Right.
Screen, yeah.
So try it. But I might even not start with tic-tac-toe. I might even start with guess the number. Just to...
I might challenge myself. I like the idea of tic-tac-toe, and it is such a classic and one that I think all the kids at the house actually enjoy playing.
Or checkers. Checkers is a good one too because that's pretty easy to wrap your head around.
Yeah, I love that. I might do tic-tac-toe and then jump into checkers next if I can get tic-tac-toe work.
I know they're just simple board games, but they're classics and they're not trivial. Those to make a checkers game, you got to do a lot.
Art. Yeah, I'll get it fancy with the art and try to make it look even cooler for one reason or one way or another. I just try to get fancy with it, make it, but also still simple, but just with the art, try to be more expressive. Make a cool background or something. You can pick your board.
I love simple games like that. I grew up playing simple little video games, so I even though they're not
Minesweepers for hours.
Yeah, exactly. I'm Minesweeper. That's challenging for some other reasons, I think. But come up with the simplest game you can come up with. Even something like blackjack. Come up with a card game to play blackjack. Something super deterministic but complicated enough where there's a few things you got to figure out.
Yeah.
I think you learn a lot by trying to create something totally from scratch. Because the second you go, shit, how do I get it on the screen and where does it go? Oh wait, I need a grid. Oh wait, I need variables. Oh wait, I need if-then statements. Oh wait.
About it.
I was like, I might start just messing around with my own game since I have Pico 8 here. I might
Mhm.
just see what I can come up with on my own. Yeah, I like the idea of just doing something. I think I am gonna make a tic-tac-toe.
This is what I did when I was a kid. I basically, I had a different system. It wasn't Pico 8. It was my old Texas Instruments computer. But I used to sit there and just write simple. I used to write like joke programs. Like, it'd give you a prompt like, "Hey, what's the blah blah blah," and the user would type something in and it'd go, "No, that's not the right answer," or "Hey, you guessed it," or whatever. Just anything. That whatever I could come up with when I was 6 years old. Think like a 6 years old. What's a 6 year old program that you have half a chance of making? You know.
Yeah. Yeah, my brain's already running through so many different ideas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pick the
Cool.
simplest one of those and try to make it. It's just good practice,
Yeah.
if you're interested in the coding part of it,
I am.
And then what's even more challenging, of course, every
language
language is different. We're doing this
Yeah.
Pico 8 uses the Lua programming language, which I wasn't familiar with, and I still have to keep looking up the syntax for. But I think you'll find that the differences from programming to programming language, they're more similar than different. You just have to learn the syntax and some slightly different rules, how they treat variables or how they treat functions or how they treat whatever. And if you have 80% of one language down, you're like 70% of the way to the learning the next language. It's not that hard. So spending any time learning one language really well is a huge boost to doing any kind of programming.
Yeah, and I really like the format of the Pico 8 so far, and the limitations feels big still.
Mm-hmm.
I think at some point it'll start feeling like it's limited on.
Oh yeah, I think we will get tired of the pixel art and want to do something different probably at some point. But
yeah,
I think it's interesting that even after all these years of pixel art, people haven't. It's like there's only so many musical notes, but no one's there's so many combinations that there's still some glorious things to be discovered in music, even though there's only so many notes. I think pixel art is the same kind of thing. There's only so many pixels, but all the cool things that could be thought of haven't yet been thought of. So
exactly. Yeah, and I think this looks pretty stinking sweet.
I think it does too.
Look at him go.
Yeah, it's fun to watch them fly around. I mean, these are great little.
It is. Look at him. Whee! I love that they're in space. It's so fun. Whee!
I like it too because this is exactly why there were so many space games on the Atari. Which it's just the cool, easiest way to create a background that's engaging without having to draw too much.
Yeah.
Put a couple stars on the screen and you're in space, and that's good enough for us. Because back in the day, I forget how many, but it was only they only had. In fact, I'm curious, and I'm going to look it up right now. How many? What were the memory limitations on the Atari? It's a remarkably small amount. Atari 2600 RAM. 128 bytes of RAM, not kilobytes, not megabytes, bytes. That's so a very limited amount of memory. So that's why it's like, hey, here's 2 pixels on the screen. We're in space,
We're in space. Go fly. Yeah, for real. That makes a lot more sense knowing how small they were.
Mm-hmm.
And that was huge back then. I was like, whoa, we can create this stuff. This is crazy.
Exactly.
Oh, so cool.
Well, I'm going to let you go. And
okay.
Send me the things you got so I can look at them and play with them.
Okay, I will. Yeah, it's fun, and you'll see. I changed a bunch of different random stuff, just having fun and messing around with it on my own. But yeah, anything you like, I guess. If you feel like bringing it over to the other one,
yeah, exactly. I think the thing I definitely want to start doing is sound effects because why not, right?
Exactly, that's what I thought.
It brings the game to life,
Yeah, I needed it to have the effects working first before I spent too much time working with the sound. So the sound is just something I made just so I could have a sound to load when I did the programming.
Mm-hmm.
But now I want to spend more time more intentionally trying to think, okay, Dragon Ball Z, let's make a sound that fits Dragon Ball Z. But it has a little song that plays, and it's got some variation to it. I made it kind of long,
Mm-hmm.
still short compared to what I would like, but so it's like repetitive, but not as
You could
repetitive.
even have 3 different
Um,
songs for 3 different rounds. 3 different.
exactly. I was
Mm-hmm.
trying to figure that out, but I haven't figured that out. How to
Mm-hmm.
have, oh, yeah, different rounds have different songs play on like different rounds.
Yeah.
It gets more intense as you get through the different
Exactly.
rounds. That'd be really cool. It speeds up or something.
Yep. I like it.
Yeah, I like that idea. That would be
Or it
great. That
speeds
would be a
up as
lot
the
more.
round goes on, or something.
Oh, that would be cool too. Yeah, I have definitely not gotten that creative.
Or if your health
So
is
we'll have
low,
to do.
have the kind of a lot of games do this, the kind of annoying beeping, beep beep beep, like your health is
Yeah.
low, kind of annoying stuff like that to create some intensity. They're tropes, but they work, right?
Sorry, can you say that again?
So they're tropes, but they work.
Yeah.
They're cliche, but they're effective.
Sorry, I just had some friends get here.
Oh, that's okay. Well, I'm gonna get going
Yeah.
anyway, so I'll see you Thursday if I don't talk to you beforehand. But send me the stuff and send me any ideas, and we'll keep plowing forward.
I will. Okay, yeah, I'll try to get it sent either today or tomorrow whenever I get to my
Yeah, no,
computer.
no rush. Yeah, I'm gonna be Uber driving most of the week, so no rush.
Sweet.
All right,
Okay.
have a good night over there.
Yep. You too.
Okay,
Talk to you Thursday. Or, well, probably before then, but
looking forward to it.
me too.
Okay, bye bye.
Bye.